Welcome to the Mobile Monger podcast, where we go behind the scenes in the cheese world to chat with the people making, selling, or distributing your favorite specialty food products. I'm your host, Janae Muha, certified cheese professional, longtime cheesemonger, and producer advocate. Ask any cheesemonger and they will likely tell you that Rodolphe Le Meunier's salted butter is one of their favorite things on earth. Its salty richness is delightful and addictive, and butter lovers gladly pay a pretty penny for this golden treat. In 2007, Rodolphe was bestowed with the Best Craftsman of France title and Best International Cheesemonger, sending his career into overdrive. Cheeses bearing his name now hold space in the finest restaurants and cheese cases the world over. In this episode, I'm very excited to have my first international guest, Rodolphe Le Meunier himself. He's also joined by Owen Rumiano, Assistant Export Manager and occasional translator. We discuss his trajectory in cheese, how COVID has affected his business, and what an affineur does. Allons-y!
Yes, so it's Rudolph. It's a family story. My grandma was a goat cheesemaker during the 50s, and my father was just a cheese ager during 70s, 80s, 90s. And I arrived, of course, around 20 years in this business. So first time I do something in cheese was very funny because I asked 10 euro to my dad. I think I had 10 years when I was a little kid.
10 years old.
And he told me, okay, Rudolph, no problem. You will have 10 euro, but you need come to help me and put the cheese in the box. So I beginning like that in this way. So it's very funny.
Packing orders.
I do my study like I can, and of course, when it's time to engage your life in a business, in something, I have a choice between music or cheese, and I figure out what is the best for me. And I'm not a big dreamer, so I go to cheese business, and I understand it's better to go somewhere I already have something in my hand, and I do what I can.
Yeah.
And step by step, I'm beginning to work with my father, and I go. You know, in France, we have 1 year we go to military time. I don't know if you have that in US. I'm not sure.
We do not. They used to have a mandatory military year where you had to join the military and do training for 1 year.
So during 1 year, I trained for that. I have no money in my pocket, and at the end, I go to ask some money to my father, and he give me some cheese, and he tell me, Rudolph, now I give you this cheese and go to sell it and make your money. And this is my first time I retail some cheese, around 21 years, something like that, and it was a very good success. And I figured out there is something to do in this way in the cheese business, and step by step I made some farmer market. I opened a store. My sister joined me, and I grow the business, like you know, and I figure out export my cheese, export what I know, export what I can, and move my ass from Loire Valley.
Yep.
Awesome. So some people might not know what an affineur does. Can you kind of walk me through what that means to you?
Oh, for me, that means something for the cheese, not for me. You know, affinage, I don't do. I don't consider I do affinage. Cheese do affinage, not me. I just put the cheese in the different place, but I don't make the affinage. This is the natural way of the cheese. After it's just done, so I consider the master is the cheese, and my job is to figure out what wants the customer. If he wants something dry, if he wants something melty, something strong, something young, and with that I can put the cheese in different ways, so the cheese can do the affinage my customer need.
I like that. It's not about you, it's about the cheese.
Yes, sure. No, exactly. My job is to find the good cheese for the good customer. There is a lot of palates. There is a lot of people, young, aged, women, men, people with cheese and gustative history. People come from country you don't know the cheese. So what is important for me is to find the cheese who will be enjoyed by the customer, of course. Some customer like Bridmo young, some customer like Bridmo very aged. Okay, it's just Bridmo, so it's not easy to do that. But always when I beginning in the retail business, the first thing I ask is to the customer, what do you like? Do you want something strong, something soft? And after it's super easy when you know your cheese to find the good cheese for the customer.
Well, I like that you're talking about the relationship between you and the people that you're selling to, that there has to be communication between you so you can provide what they are looking for.
Of course, very important. And this is a good key for the success, because you are sure the customer is happy.
Yeah.
Important for me.
So in the United States, Y'all's butter is considered top tier. How does that fit into the realm of what you do? Let's talk butter.
Comment c'est intégré dans notre gamme et pourquoi c'est si important et comment c'est devenu si important, spécialement pour le marché américain.
You know, the first time I was on USA, it was 10, 12 years ago. I visit a lot of store, a lot of things, but there was nothing. Yes, it was 12, 13 years ago, I think. There was not a lot of cheesemonger. The cheese way was not like you have now. And I saw there is no good butter on this market, first thing. And it's very important because I'm a fan of butter. And for me, it's like a cheese. It's the same. It's a dairy product like a cheese. It's something we really appreciate in France. It's our culture. And I know well the French market about the butter. I know who do what. And I know this kind of butter is very cool because it's slowly churned. The cream is cultured and matured, you know what I mean? So, of course, we have something very different with a taste, with a real taste of butter. And it was the first time there is a butter like that on US markets. And I remember the first time I made a show. It was a fancy food show with Fresca Italia, long time ago. And there was a chef named Nathan Lyon who come to the booth. And I sampled for him, I think 30 kind of cheese, because every time when I arrive with a lot of kind of cheese. And every time after 6 or 7 cheese, I made a break in the tasting with the butter. And this guy every time jumped to the
ceiling.
Yes, to the second floor, to the roof, exactly. And after, the next one was during the first CMI in New York. I will always remember that all of my life, because it was the first time Adam organized that. And I was in charge of the cheese board and the food and catering for everybody. and I bring my cheese and I sample a lot of things, and the butter was eaten in 3 minutes, and I need have a party for 5-6 hours. You know what I mean? So this is too flash for me. And after I do the job step by step, and I taste, I sample everybody, and everybody enjoys the butter. So it's like that.
Yeah. What do you look for in a butter that makes it the best?
Like I said, the good product for the good customer. In first, I'm looking for a butter I love, I like, and I enjoy. After, I realize my palate is like a lot of people, and this is for that a lot of people enjoy what I bring, and this kind of butter, of course. And every time when you taste some butter, it's really flat. It's fat and flat. You know what I mean? Can be un jeu de mots.
Un jeu de mots.
Ouais. It's fat and flat.
Game.
Yes.
Play of words.
And the beurre de barat I bring, especially the salted one. And it gives you something in your mouth, something in your palate. You have something in your mouth, of course. Different, like a regular butter, a white butter. After, you need to understand this butter is specific also because it's made in a specific place in France. Okay, in this place there is some specific grain, specific land, specific weather, specific cow. It's Norman cow. You know Darwin theory. It's like the Darwin theory. This cow is adapted for this kind of grass, for this kind of weather, this kind of bacteriology. So all of that match very well inside, and this is the only place there is this Darwin mix and this evolution. So you have for me, you have the best of milk and fat material to do butter. You can't do the same butter if you take a cow in the Alp, you know what I mean, and with a different weather and food is totally different,
I got to be a judge for butter at the ACS. And so I tried like, I don't know, 50 different butters. And yeah, it was after a while, just flat, just salt and fat. And that's all I could taste. So it's nice when there's layers to it.
And after, the last thing about butter, this is the only butter you can eat without bread, like a cheese.
I agree.
Yes, exact.
I've done demos with different companies like Vermont Creamery and had their butter, and people always look at me like I'm just supposed to eat a spoonful of butter. Like, yes,
Yes.
It's delicious. You'll like it, I promise. Americans are very weird about that. I think it's just, I don't know, it's a perception. Like they have this odd idea about butter that they shouldn't just eat it by the spoonful. It's got a bad reputation here in terms of it's an unhealthy food because it's fat. So people think it's unhealthy. So it just has a bad reputation here. But those that know, they know. So obviously COVID is a thing. How has that affected cheese and butter in France?
Oh la la, it's
big question.
Very hard. No, it was something very interesting, and we learned a lot of things with COVID. So about the business, of course, 2 years ago, the 3-4 first months was catastrophic everywhere. So I got the same trouble like everywhere in the world. So we closed everybody at home, and we wait. After, by chance, a lot of things in the mentality of the people, in the mind of the different people, show. They come back, so they don't move during 4 months, 5 months, so they don't spend their money. And the French people, when he don't spend money, when he have money, he spend to the food first. French, you know what I mean? So they don't go to buy more food, they go to buy better food, high level food. So it was very cool for for my position in this business, of course. And a lot of people come to eat a lot. So it was very interesting. First thing. After, we got some trouble, of course, but the second year was very different, and we progressed a lot because, whatever COVID, I have a plan to grow my business, and I have some idea to grow step by step, and I put my idea also one by one, and we engage some salespeople. We open a sales department. I engage Owen too during this time because whatever COVID, I figure out it's just like that, and this trouble need not affect my plan to grow. So that's good. Last year I engage more 10 people in my company. We extend 600 square meter. So we grow very well. So it's very cool. No problem for that. Also, I learn, and a lot of people learn, the new technology is very cool. And everybody focus, especially in the business, we are exporter, but we can't visit our customer. And to make business without visit some customer, the customer can't come to us. It's complicated. So everybody invests some money in the video conference, in a very cool Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? So we learn how organize meeting, and how we can share our place, and how we can organize a visit of our place without flight and without 1 week. You know what I mean? So I think it's very positive, very, very positive.
The fact that we can have a conversation right now is pretty amazing.
Exactly. So yes, I don't enjoy this time, but it's good because some people have it's a good balance for a lot of people, and we are not here to I need some some new US expression from Owen. Comment on pourrait dire? On n'est pas là pour enfiler des perles. We are not here to do nothing. We are here to.
Oh,
you don't know that?
No, that's an expression I've never heard in French.
Yes,
so.
we will share some expression together. I will be better after.
Yes.
Well, I guess this question might be better for Owen, but like, what does the export market look like right now with French cheese coming over to the United States, and like where is it kind of sitting currently?
You know when I think I am at the beginning of my business, so every year is better and better. So I have a nice view about that because every time we have some new customer, we have some new products, so we grow a little bit every year. Of course, if there is no trouble, we can grow more fast, but at that time we continue like that, and we open more and more new countries. We talk about we open Middle East. We go just this morning a plan for Thailand, for example. We found some new customer in Asia. We open a new customer in Australia too. So
yes, there's been obviously one of the big issues has been boat and air freight prices and delays in shipping. So that's something we've had to kind of be a little bit more conscious of, and it definitely hurts the clients because of price and stuff. But on our side, we've continued to kind of be there for the clients, and I think that's what's helped is we try to be very flexible with the clients, and like, you know, if somebody needs a special label on there, we're going to do the work and put the special label on there. And so overall, the COVID market for us, I think has been tough, but we figured out a way to maneuver the market. Like Rodolphe said, we've found new clients in Asia, in Dubai, in Australia. We're continuing to grow.
I buy my a big present for my Christmas for myself. I buy a super machine. I weigh the cheese. I put the cheese in the machine. I ask to the machine, I want some slice, 200 grams, and the machine cuts the slice 200 grams. Wow. This is so cool.
Very excited.
Very cool. You can't imagine. After 20 years to cut some cheese by the hand, finally a machine, a pure machine.
I think those were pretty popular for cheesemakers over this time because you don't want to spend all that time just cutting cheese.
So we have a lot of idea for the next and a lot of new cheese, new packaging. We work on a lot of new things, step by step. I already organized correctly my cheese facility, so now I can focus on my development projects.
You have a lot of projects though, right? Besides just your company, you tell me what else do you do?
No, that's funny. I have always a lot of projects, but sometimes some projects come from 10 years ago and I can't do it 10 years ago. And after they come back 10 years later and finally you can do something with this idea. So of course I have a lot of idea, but it's always the same.
But you also organize like Mondial. Yes.
Yes.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Mondial du fromage, I organize that since 2013, so 2013. And it's a cheese, it's an international cheese show, like you have a Salon du Fromage à Paris, in Paris, like this kind of happening. We have around 200 exhibitors, 4,000 visitors. It's on 3 days. We manage a big cheese contest with 1,000 cheese in the contest. We manage this is the best of, this is the final of the World Championship of the cheesemonger. So we organize a very, very big cheesemonger competition. And it's a very good show for the business because, of course, I have a booth with my team and there is a lot of customers and a lot of buyers from all over the world who visit this show. Loire Valley, it's a very specific destination. 3 days of a very good cheese show, built construit un peu comme je fais, c'est sympa quoi, tu vois.
Right.
It's something.
The idea of building it to be enjoyable. As someone who has done the show themselves, other shows, he knows some shows are more enjoyable than others. I think that's what you're trying to say.
So we made a good success because the next one will be in 2023.
10, 11, 12 September for all you audio listeners there.
Exact.
Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed that I can make that.
Sure, you're welcome.
I'm due for a French visit. It's been 10 years, so. Are there some things that you would like Americans to know more about French cheese or butter? Like, are there some things that you wish they knew more about?
Sorry,
it's the best.
No. It's a very big joke because you need to know I really appreciate American cheese and every time in France, of course, US and British cheese have not the best reputation of the world. I can understand that, but when you know what is done in a different country, of course, if you don't know, shut up. You know what I mean?
No way.
But when you know, honestly, there is some very perfect good cheese everywhere in the world. Whatever in US, there is some cheese very cool, like in UK, like in Japan. There is a Sakura cheese, it's like Saint-Marcelin, ripened with Sakura, is les fleurs de cerisier là. Yes, that's crazy. Like you have some very, very good cheese on your market too in USA, like there is in Canada. Like. So when I just won't say all the cheese is good. What is important is to eat some cheese. Yeah. Of course.
Just eat the cheese.
Always, we everybody talk about, it's industrial or it's farmer, it's raw milk or it's pasteurized. Whatever, if the cheese is good and the customer like it, what we talk about.
Yeah.
Eat some cheese.
Voilà.
Eat some cheese, whatever.
Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you want to talk about?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I hope visit US very soon. USA miss me and my US friend miss also.
Ouais. You missed it.
Yes,
You
no.
You miss.
You miss us. I miss us.
I miss them.
I miss them.
And
Sorry.
they miss me.
Yes, I
In
miss
French,
them.
it's backwards.
Well,
you say,
sorry.
It's very confusing.
We do miss
Yes.
you. We do miss you.
Yes, exactly.
So I have kind of a quick round questions, just 3 that I ask everybody.
Mm-mm.
Are you ready?
Yes.
The first one, what is your current cheese crush?
I need just a translation sometime.
Pour le moment, c'est quoi ton coup de cœur de fromage?
Oh, the smoked cheese.
Smoked cheese?
Smoked. Yes.
Smoked cheese.
Especially the soft cheese smoked.
Ooh.
Wow.
Do you have any of those in your lineup?
I do a very good one. I built a smoker in my place, so at that time I enjoy smoke some goat cheese, and especially when after I cook it and I put some maple syrup on in the toaster.
Oh yeah.
Oh la la, crazy, very cool.
That sounds delightful.
Exact.
What is your favorite cheese pairing?
It's Comté and vin jaune. Comté, age Comté, 24 months, and yellow wine. It's age oxidate wine from Jura.
Is it sweet?
No, it's not sweet. It's oxidate. It's very specific. Vin jaune du Jura. And you have one taste with Comté, one taste with vin jaune, and when you put the 2 in your mouth, that's very crazy. Exact. And the best of this is a tasting I made when I was world champion in 2007. I made a specific tasting with Comté 24 months, an age vin jaune, and some caviar. And it's fat on fat and salt on salt. But these 3 different ingredients is very perfect.
Sounds great.
You can do it every time. You will be very surprised.
And very happy.
Sure.
What is your best food memory? Like, doesn't have to necessarily be eating, but maybe a memory of growing up with, your mom or grandma cooking.
David Boulet. It's my big. David Boulet, 3-star in New York. David Boulet.
David Boulet.
David Boulet.
Hey, well, you got it.
Yes. And this is in this place I eat the best of things in my life.
What year was that?
Ah la la. In New York, in Boulet kitchen.
Année?
Oh, quelle année? Oh, it was the first time I put my I go in US 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I will never forget what I eat at this place, because this chef is very specific. He have a specific vision of the food, and it's not complicated. It's based on the quality of each product. And after, it's like a science, And when you have the good taste, the good plate in the same sink, that's perfect. And I will never forget all what I taste in David Boulet kitchen. Nice.
I probably can't afford it, but I'll check it out the next time I'm in New York.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm really happy to have you as my first international podcast. So
cool.
First international.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, excellent.
What an absolute treat to get to sit down with Rodolphe and talk about all the things that he does. It was an honor to get a bit of time in his busy schedule. With excitement, I get to say that I will be working the Le Meunier table at CMI in San Francisco on March 6, 2022. I can't wait to share the delicious connection I have with these cheeses and butter. Hope to see you there. This podcast is recorded, produced, and edited by me, Janae Muha. Thank you to Ben Muha for allowing me to use your music. Follow along on my cheesy adventures at Instagram, Facebook, or get more content at Patreon. My website is also a great hub for all of my goings-on. Thanks for listening, and remember to keep spreading the word of good curd.